Welcome viewers, 20th of October 2019, Sydney Harbour, second race of the spring series for the 80-footer fleet. A pleasant sunny Sunday. With me on the camera cat, Jimmy Bury driving young Max shotgun, Anthony on the Ronin, John O'Witty keeping the drone going, and Chits keeping us in order somehow or other. I'm Andrew Buckland, and we look forward to bringing you this race today. An hour and 30 minutes of Sydney Harbour looking pretty shiny. The fleet today, 16 boats. Some substitute guys in the fleet, so the crew's not quite at full strength, but some of the top boats very much at full strength, and acknowledging that about 90 days to go to the Giltinan, and people actually feeling a bit wounded by the Kiwis winning it a few years in a row, and a bit of determination from the Australian fleet to remedy that. Just in very broad terms, easterly wind today. The course still being equivocated to some degree by the committee, but we think that it will go off on the easterly course. Not really able to use a Norris course today. Breeze a little bit too far on the right, but the committee having some internal debate about that. Three-buoy handicap, so essentially the handicaps get unwound. The furthest mark at the top is white, but handicaps unwound lap by lap, so that the fleet does tend to finish quite well bunched at the end of the day. Tide ebb. Cool enough that the traffic on Sydney Harbour not too significant, although we're bouncing around here on the camera cat like a bit of a mother. And the committee has just put up the answering pennant. Jimmy, what do you make of that?
Well, exactly what they've just been chatting away with on the radio, Bucko. The committee's in two minds on which course and where we're going, and the anchor's coming up on the start boat as we speak. So I dare say we're on for a bit of a tour of the harbour to go and see if we can find a bit of racetrack. Might even end up on a Windward Leeward somewhere, but will be quite some time, because you've got to remember Dougie's got to go lay those three top marks when we move.
They might just be able to leave the top mark and just move the bottom, move the start line.
Well, we'll go in hot pursuit of the Ripple side, the start boat, and see where we're off to. They're pointing us as if we're going on to the number one course there, Bucko.
Or the 6.
The 6. It's not that far left, is it?
No. There'd be a reach to the top mark in the number one course, so I rather suspect we'll see Windward Leeward course 6, 3 laps. And that, they don't probably need to change the windward marks too much. They might move them a little bit, but
they could almost leave them where they are, right, Bucko?
Exactly right. So I think we're just switching sides of the harbour from the northwestern side to the southeastern side.
Upping our real estate.
Oh, well, north facing, James, top floor, you know the rules. So while we're doing that, we might just go over the starters and riders to some degree. The crew's not with quite the normal lineup. Armarine, Simon Nern subbed in for Marcus Ashley-Jones. Finport Finance, Harry Price on the twiddle stick, subbed in for Keegan York.
The other one, you got Harry Bethwaite gone from the front of the Asco to the back of the Asco to steer that one too, Bucko.
That's a big promotion, Jimmy, isn't it?
Well, it is a Bethwaite. It has been known to be done before.
Okay. All fair
and
enough.
they got Harry West, and Timmy Westwood who's going to be sailing with them for the season. He's back from his duties doing their 50s.
Yeah. On the other hand, winning group at full strength, John Winnie Jr., Sevi Jarman and Sam Newton. Noak Sailing also at full strength, Sean Langman, Ed Powys and Nathan Edwards. Yandu with a sub in the middle, Nick Daly, the sail designer in the middle, subbing for Cameron McDonald, but wouldn't presume to be any loss there. John Winning and Mike Kennedy making up the rest of that team.
Noakes Blues got their same crew as last year this week, Bucko.
Noakes Blue, Yvette, James Turner and
Daniel McLaughlin.
Oh, Dan McLaughlin in the bow, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, it looks like they're just going to move the start line.
Bit more pressure over this side of the harbour too, Bucko.
Oh, I do. Well, I mean, the breeze is about 35 degrees right and perhaps a little more stable.
Let's keep the radio on here for a little bit, Bucko, just to listen to what the starters' intentions are.
Well, I think we've seen this, and you know, it'll be. They used this in the Gilton last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Course 6 up this side. So, folks, in the world of 18-footers, there's some supporters around the globe and in other parts of Australia, obviously. We've a supporter at Sandringham, and we'll call him Secret Squirrel of Sandringham now, I think, down in Melbourne.
Sandringham Sailor.
Sandringham Sailor. Sandringham, the biggest yacht club in Melbourne, and certainly the most active. Marvellous establishment. The Sandringham Sailor, keen supporter. Thanks, mate, for your support for a long time, we believe. Doesn't look like Port Phillip Bay, though, here today, does it, James?
Definitely not looking anything like Port Phillip Bay from what I remember. That's for sure. That's some wild and wonderful days down there.
Correct. Something else perhaps we should note, Friday night this week was the Australian Sailing Awards, at which persons recognised for their achievements over the previous 12 months. And I think significantly sort of Hall of Fame nominees and awardees. Greg Hyde, who was, world-class windsurfer sailor and 16-footer champion, and then subsequently had some illness and became eligible, unfortunately, for the Paralympics, but succeeded in that as well. The Halverson brothers, famous for building pretty fast ocean racing yachts back in the 60s and 70s. Fryer, most notable, perhaps 3-time Sydney Hobart winner. Immensely talented, and over a long period, they and their boats sort of dominated ocean racing in Australia. But for a couple of alumni, shall we say, of the 18-footer fleet, Hall of Fame recognition for Mark Foy, who started the idea of putting big signs on the mainsails in 1880-something.
Just when you were a young whipper.
When I was just a whippersnapper, exactly, James. Thank you. And also the pursuit start, so that and what we have now, I guess, is a modern wrinkle on the pursuit start, where the scratch boat used to start last and catch the limit boats.
Adrian was another.
Yeah, and also Adrian Cahalan, who notable for success in this class as a stick wiggler, and also more recently as an ocean racing navigator of some prominence, maxi boat racing and around the world stuff and Volvo, etc. So pretty good night, and great to see recognition of some of the history. I think particularly James, Mark Foy and the Hallison brothers, not to disclaim, the recent achievements, but just for the fraternity here to remember the history.
they're now talking about putting this the mark in line with the island bar over underneath Taronga Zoo. So sort of going around and around and around, isn't it? Okay.
Well, the wind we've got where we are right now, I reckon, is about 110 magnetic. So here's the problem. There's an area on the left shore looking upwind where the structure of the wind is just left 35 degrees, and you better hold the race either in the other wind, or it'd be better not to go near the 35 degree structural change on the northwestern shore. Anyway.
Last week's winner, they're just going through the shot, Bucko, Oaks Group.
Yeah, no, it was a good sale last week. I wonder if they've recut their spinnaker, James. I haven't talked to Sean, so we'll see.
That was your one job this week, Bucko.
Talk to Sean. Yeah, perhaps.
It looks like course 6, the course flag's wrapped up nicely up top.
Yeah, that's all they can do, mate. And they should just keep the axis over here, it'll be fine.
When I was speaking with the starters, they said when they raise that little white flag...
course 2. No, still got course 2 up.
Course 2.
Which is possible. They could do that, just changing the axis of the beat, but the bottom mark's got to be over on the other shore again, so...
Yeah. But that, the white flag up the top, they're saying, is their little 10-minute warning to everyone for us.
Yeah, on station flag.
That's the pin going in. If you're hearing the radio transmission in the background, the starter's pin, other end of the line. Sounds like a lot of other clubs.
Nobody can say drop just once, can they?
No.
4, 5, 6. Drop, 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 drop. So, Jimmy, another bit of 18-footer alumni successful in recent times, the men on the yacht Scallywag.
Yeah, the mighty try Scallywag got up and won the Vietnam race. We hope Whitty had his passport with him this time.
Oh, there would be no trouble with that, would there?
No, and go to Whitty and all the rest of the boys, and well done.
Yeah, no, so
Good
that was the Hainan race. It is pretty entertaining. Finishing at 5 o'clock in the morning and getting your passport checked by about 500 serious-looking chappies from the propaganda department of the CCP.
Well, they, yeah, I think Jack McCartney was on there with them.
Yep.
I'm not sure whether it was Tommy Cloud over there. Been doing a little bit with the Scallywag. I can't recall. Post-moment flag coming down. But yeah, apparently they raced against another one of the mod 70s and had a pretty ding-dong battle the whole way. Maserati.
Yeah, pretty good yacht race. Nice, you know, just nice trade wind, 20, 25 knots. Fantastic sailing. But no doubt though, the course time was pretty quick, James. Yeah.
Oh. Knowing Whitty as well as we know him, mate, it would have been at full noise and no other way.
That's correct.
Yeah, the mighty Scallywag, well done.
Okay. So I know it's hard to see. You've got the committee vote on screen, but we've got course 2.
And they're all yelling. All the skiffs are going past at the moment, Bucko. I don't know whether you're hearing it. And they're yelling out, are you going to change the course? So mainly led by the Yandu boat.
Well, they're all a bit puzzled because the axis... Oh, no, here we go.
AP's back up.
AP's
course flag's
back up.
getting changed.
And watch the bet.
Oh, it's a pretty safe bet, isn't it? Is it a safe bet? There's a lot of...
No such thing. Oh, Jimmy, and the other skiff E that got recognised, Hall of Fame type recognition, was... sorry, Lifetime Achievement Award, John McAnockenny. There you go.
Yes.
The man who's sort of, with a bit of help from Ian Murray and Channel 7, started building composite skiffs back in 1978. And it was interesting. Macca was able to make a little speech, and he talked about some of the things which.
Course flag 2 remains, Bucko.
Who would have thought? Macca was able to talk about some of the things that were obstacles. The first 18s were made out of sort of nearly out-of-date military spec carbon and Nomex eventually. But a fair battle to get permission to import the military spec Nomex carbon just in case we were going to make, nasty things out of it. And you can only imagine that job would be more difficult today than it was back in '78. But also, of course, Macca was built once more, their friends, the first composite boat built here and second in the world, only ocean racing composite boats to boat built by Jeremy Rogers in the UK, who built the first Kevlar PVC ocean racing yacht, which went on to be pretty successful in the fast race that year, or in the '79, in fact. Yeah. Here we go.
There's the 5 red flags. They get it out. There he is.
So, guys, the weather today, just pretty normal situation. Low pressure cell towards New Zealand, high pressure cell over Australia. Cold front went through sort of late yesterday. So, just a gradient sou'easter here. We've noted the breeze, a fairway left on the left side of the course. Tide ebb, as we said. Expecting the wind to rotate a little and strengthen a little bit of thermal, and that's what we're seeing in effect on the race course. But we note, Jones, spiky little bits of cold wind and softer bits of warm wind.
Yeah, well, I've got the jacket on for the colder parts.
Correct. Absolutely correct. So the committee's put the line in. It looks like it's favouring the pin end significantly. 4 minutes. Is that 3 minutes?
4. Count the red
one,
flags, Bucko.
4,
Come on.
yeah, but the bottom flag was invisible, you see. So
Right next to the other red one.
that's right. So maybe a race out to the tide, probably better pressure in the middle of the river. Bit of a bang off the headland and then port tack to nearly on the way to the top. Don't know. Certainly favouring the pin end.
Well, the start boat's almost pointing directly at the pin, Bucko.
That will be a bit of current bun though too, James, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Ebbage. Quite a bit of flow even here. We're just a bit protected, but still enough flow to turn things around a bit. I think this might be lining up for a general recall, mate. Certainly going to be a crowd down at the pin.
There'll be a lot of, won't be much real estate left down at that pin, will there?
Negative. Hard to cross the line on starboard tack at the moment, or can cross for the benefit of the ebb tide probably, but not all that easily. Line is at full speed, less than a minute long, so the position's only really assumed in the last minute.
The only one really left right down this end is Noakes Blue. Bucko, they're in behind the camera cat. And
they're on a 3-minute time run to the pin, brother, aren't they?
oh, no point getting in there and scratching the new paintwork, is there?
Exactly.
2 minutes.
A bit racked up already, 2 minutes. Boats all stationary, more or most of the fleet stationary. Dalzotto and Vintec up this end, but Jimmy, the podium, come on. You're allowed 3 calls for the podium, all right?
Yandu.
Yandu, yep, happy.
There you go, like that one.
Yep.
You've got the handicaps. That's half my battle. You got the handicaps in front of you, and I don't. Yandu, can't go past my mate Jack Sprague on the Dalzotto.
Keep trying.
And who else do I like? Why don't we, what's Appliances Online on?
5 minutes, brother.
I'll take a piece of them as well.
All right. Well, the only boat I'd add to that would be the winning group, in fact. So they're at full strength, and they had a good hit out last week. Fleet really racked up towards the leeward end here. Just coming 1 minute. So
Well, we might as well mosey on down the line with them.
we might get a camera cat on the racetrack, Jimmy. What do you think?
Well, they're all down the other end. We might as well.
Oh, we're over early, easy. But we dip back.
Dip start
Dip start.
on the camera cat.
On port. Breeze just kicked a little left, so making it harder, I think, for the guys on starboard. Wow.
Stayed these guys.
Just about in the last half a minute, 20 seconds or so.
Big.
They've been pretty restrained though, the guys, haven't they? It's been good. But there's a big rack up. There's a big rack up. 5. Go. Pretty good.
Finport.
Finport crossed them all.
Kitchen Maker ended up being the bouncing ball in the middle of all of that.
Yeah. Some sounds of some breaking carbon.
Royal Oak and the Kitchen Maker are reacquainting friendships from last year.
Oh, well. The Birkenhead nearly in the drink, and the Smeg couldn't get out of the tack. Winning group gone, though. Winning group gone. Yandu gone. Noakes gone. And Finport gone. Well, that was amazing. No general. Plenty of collisions. Some sounds of breaking carbon.
Just going past the big fella and he's got the big shake of the head going.
Steve Quigley with... I will be one day when I get old.
Kitchen Maker starting penalty turns.
Behind us. Anyway, Finport leads from Noakes, winning group, Birkenhead, Smeg, Yandu, Appliances. So all of our preferred boats did get out of there, James, I think.
Well, yeah, the one we didn't really mention was Noakes in that early on, but Sean sailed well last week and obviously returned to form this week. So
yeah,
hopefully you can stick with it.
Sean's interesting case, with Ed Powers and Nathan in the boat. He seems to be pretty calm.
Yeah, well, it's the same crew as last year,
yeah,
Bucko, so having the same crew is a huge advantage. Just going past the ASCO and noticing Doyle Mainsail on there, Bucko.
Yeah, no, there's some new bits of washing in the fleet, that's correct. The ASCO having to do a big duck. Where are we on here?
Finport opened up big lead on the fleet on the water, but obviously that's all got to be unwound at some stage, right, Bucko?
Yeah, the Finport.
Just snuck up here behind the Noakes, Sean, Ed and Nathan.
Finport on 1 minute, and you'd say here that these are two 1 minute boats, Finport and Noakes, and winning group on scratch. Advantage Noakes at this moment. Finport's got nothing out of that left edge because the air's too cold, it would seem, over here, and impossible to actually obtain any benefit unless the bottom mark's laid on the left edge. So
explain that to the viewers, Bucko, with the feel of the wind, like obviously the cold air, then the warmer, what the breeze is sort of doing. Like, it's,
well, Finport does still lead, but Noakes has halved it, so it's a yacht race. 3 boats within quite a small distance of each other here, only sort sort of 2 boat lengths between Finport and Noakes, and another 3 boat lengths to Winning Group. So
Just drop back down over here past the Winning Group.
The drone on Finport going to the right. Tricky here. Current going out. Middle will pay. Fair bit of traffic of commercial boats of various kinds. And the big Captain Cook up there making a big hole in the wind out to the right. And Winning Group and Smeeg coming up the cross. So Smeeg has come out of the left with pressure. So quite a bit of wind coming from the left edge now. Less wind in the middle. Smeeg a beneficiary. Not of angle, just of increased wind speed. And Winning Group looking pretty determined about getting to the left here.
Smeeg just a small dip on Noakes.
Yep. So let's see what happens here. Winning Group, lovely looking mainsail now. Lovely. And into some pressure now, so watch them here. Appliances going well too, James, so not too bad out of Little Group. Yandu, Appliances.
Yep, Appliances just a tiny little dip, if at all, on Winning Group there. So
yeah, so I think Winning Group probably going to set up the tack sooner. They might have to wait for Noakes. Noakes gone. Winning Group in the middle of the puff.
Yeah, and there's Herman moving, so they're just tacking.
Let's go, and we're with Yandu on the water, not on the screen. We're on the screen here, the Yandu, good.
Yandu will probably just go on the other side of the shot.
Cruising boat in the way. Come on, Woody, we've put money on you, son.
There they go.
Pretty good.
Good old mate with his the cruising boat moseying on down the harbour.
Oh, look at that.
But on that shot there on screen, you can see his leading pack has sort of jumped out from everyone there. You got Yandu close to us, Winning Group, Noakes out in front on the water.
Yeah, it looks like this group here that's got to this increase in pressure sort of
Finport, just noticing they're just off screen to the right, Bucko, way down over there in Double Bay.
Yeah, he's seen greatness and run from it, but not over yet. But you'd have to favour this group here in the middle of the harbour, wouldn't you?
It's like sailing a Wesley, isn't it, today? It's like the haves and have-nots.
Yeah, don't talk about Wesley, Jimmy.
Great day yesterday, Bucko.
Yesterday, rather a violent day. Various venues. Jimmy and Chits were, as usual, covering the 16s at Manly. I had the good fortune of sailing a historic 18 on the harbour.
And swimming.
And going in the tide. Official starters report, wind 8 to 33 knots. Gives you a bit of an idea. Here we go, Woody into some more wind too. So this left-hand group into just a fraction more pressure, and that's all they need. 3 strings off. And we'll see Nick here. Just go and look at the jib trim on this, Jimmy. Can we do that? Because they tend to sail with the jib underdone a bit in my view. See if Mick's got it to bolt it in a bit more. Yeah, not too bad. That's pretty close.
You happy with the Burgers trim?
Yeah, maybe still a bit soft in the jib though, mate. And wow, they got a bit stiff there. The Bruce just abandoned them.
There's another little puff coming back to him about 10 seconds here.
Yeah.
So they can just sort of link these puffs up, Bucko. They'll hopefully just, if they can stick on this group, right? They're going all right. They've got to go to the closest marks.
Yeah, the Winning Group got the benefit of 5 or 6 minutes of handicap.
They just, yeah. There's a little increase in pressure onto them. And then just in the top right of screen there, you got Winning Group, Noakes and Appliances online. Just there, so.
The Winning Group got the disadvantage of going to the longest mark. Then after that, between them and the other 2 1-minute boats,
Now, just off screen to the left, like quite a fair way off screen, so we won't get Anthony to swing the camera around. But you got Marine Pitwater sort of done the round the outside move out here.
Done the Clancy of the overlay a bit here, Jimmy. I think he's going to hit the island, isn't he?
Oh.
No, maybe not. No, he's in good shape. But if you look at that, Winning Group and Yandu bending in the left-hand air where we are on the camera cat, we're travelling with Yandu. And Smeg coming back from the other side.
Crossing them all at this stage.
At this point, yeah.
Winning Group
Smeg
needs a puff to give them any curry, but I think Smeg's through there well and truly comfortably.
Yep, no, Smeg leads, I think.
Yeah, Smeg leads on the race course as we speak, but still a long way to go.
But look at this, the Winning Group in left-hander. They got a bit of money back for the deposit they made earlier.
Yeah, and you look at
they've only got a little lull to go through here, and then new puff coming over the low part of the island, so they're through the worst of the wind shadow there.
The part I like the most, Bucko, we've got the best angle to the top mark. We'll go over and have a look at Simon on the Marine, who's sort of sneaking in around to join this group, and the Dalzotto's still hanging in there. Another one of my picks, Bucko.
Well, Jimmy,
my mate Jack.
You've been donating to the bookie most times on the Dalzotto, so
I didn't on the last day of last year, and that's all that matters.
I admire your fortitude. Sorry.
There's the drone just shooting over to pick up Smeg, Noakes, and Appliances online.
Yeah, so Noakes leads again somehow. More pressure on the right at the moment and big angle change. Wow, look at that. Little puff coming here. Big puff coming here, in fact. The Dalzotto. Oh, they put the marks in an awkward place, haven't they, James? Well up through the Dardanelles.
Well, pretty standard. But there's not much else I can really do, Bucko. Like, we run out of harbour course, like lengthwise.
Yeah, big call.
So just here on Smeg on screen at the moment, just tacking a bit of terra firma there. That's Shark Island. And Noakes coming back.
Oh, big ease on the jib. What's going on here?
Big Pete Mackey, mate. You go have a chat with him about that.
He's got a cluster. Oh, they're ducking. That's the problem.
Might not have had to duck, but I think.
Yeah. Oh.
Which mark are the Smeg off to, Bucko? Is the Appliances? This is where it becomes pretty.
Smeg's got to go to the middle mark. All these guys, this group here, all going to the middle mark, I think. Just let me check. I've written it down, brother.
So, Chet's offered to write which marks. Well, now we've got about 3 or 4 bits of paper that we've all got to work off. Chet's offered to write it all down next to each boat, and Bucko said, I've got it.
The applies the line going to the red mark. There you go. The other boys going to the blue mark, except for Winning Group going to the furthest distant mark.
So Appliances online will be leading on course if that's the case.
Appliances online will lead. I think Smeg will get there second. Perhaps not. Bree's not far enough right, but good bit of pressure here for these guys. Appliances will get in this puff and go.
I've just got the Winning Group coming down beside you. Which is Appliances online are around.
Uh-oh. So, and no script around now on the middle mark. And we're a bit out of power on the camera cat. Only one engine.
No, we're good.
No. False alarm. Okay.
Well, after having the camera cat fixed up during the winter, Bucko, we've got bells and whistles go off on it now. You've got to figure out what you've got to press and not press. And winning group going to the furthest mark, the white mark. So on course, we've got Appliances online with a fairly handy lead from last week's winner, Noakes Group. And Smeg Yandu around third with Smeg. 2 different marks. The Yandu had to go around the closest mark and Smeg having to go around the middle mark.
Smeg doing a bit of prawning, unfortunately, with a shoot. They're still in the middle of a good puff though, so they'll get rescued a bit.
Marine Pittwater around with Finport around the blue mark.
And Dal Zotto. Who would
remember that name, Bucko?
Good on you. So, applies online about 40 seconds.
Marine Pittwater just having, there you go, the spinnaker's out. Just had it caught up on the back of the jib.
Noakes second, winning group. Sorry, Yandu third, Smeg fourth.
Dalzotto 5.
Dalzotto fifth. Finport sixth.
So sorry, Sean, I didn't include you. I thought you would have hurt yourself on handicap last week. So I didn't include you in my pick, but pretty good jibe just right there on the smeg right in front of the camera cat to see, which was nice. Brett on the appliance on lines jibed out sort of into a bit of nothing out there and sort of stopped at the moment. Sean Langman on the Noakes going right down the shore there at Point Piper, past old Malcolm's house. See if he wants his cooter boat serviced. Going to shoot him. There's a great drone shot of who we got there. So Finport now back onto the camera boat with Yandu. Just having a bit of a, where were we at?
So no change. Noakes has made a gain here by getting in the little header off the Point Piper, starboard jibe header. Wind wraps around the point a bit. And the jibe mark, I cannot see. Oh, yeah,
dead on the bow, Bucko.
On the bow. Thank
Yep.
you, Jones. So both boats, a couple more jibes. Noakes leads from applies online. This leading group has got some separation off the pack now.
There's a drone shot. There's the spectator ferry on screen, bottom of the screen with the Smeg crossing in front of it.
But Noakes 2 more jibes, appliance with 1 more jibe, and I think you'll see Brett, History's Any Guide, usually tries to scrape this mark on starboard jibe, so he's got to make the call, but equally Noakes then has to make a call about whether, if they are indeed intersecting. Noakes, yeah, no, they're bow to bow nearly, aren't they, Jones?
Very close to bow to bow.
Yeah.
And I think Noakes probably still just get in there, Bucko.
Yeah, probably.
Here we go. We're about to find out.
About to find out. Yeah. Noakes going to cross him.
Yep.
But he's completed his job. Beautiful job on the appliances. And Noakes going to stand on. So there you go.
Yeah. Appliances tight on that mark, aren't they?
You know, we saw him last week. He likes to jibe early. Can't get his... There we go. Mason's working now.
Jibe on the Noakes.
So appliances going to the header first, and it might be they might lay down to the bottom mark without jibing. May not. Just depends on the structure of the wind on the northwestern side of the course here.
And let's get Ant on the Ronan just coming around to his right. We've got Yandu and Smeg. Yandu next around in third.
Big puff they came with.
And Smeg 4. Dalzotto still in 5. And big gap back to the rest of the fleet there, Bucko, yeah?
Yeah. The Finport squandered a lot at the end of the beat, but quite a big gap to Birkenhead and Finport, the next group. Winning group, what's happened to the winning group? Yep. So they haven't had a great run because they were not that far behind when they got their shoot going. I'm not sure what's happened there. So they've lost time on the 1 minute boats again on the first lap. Last week we saw, so look at these guys going off down the run, drone shot towards the harbour bridge. Looks as if the leaders are laying the mark on starboard jibe. So that looking upwind, the left-hand air on the left edge persists.
Noakes looks like he's heading back to, Sean looks like he's heading back to work.
Well, you never know. Where is the mark, James? I can't see it from here.
Down off Robertson Point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You got, looking at how hot the appliance online is, I dare say that mark might be either right on the bow or very close to it. At the appliance online, we're just going to run off down there and see what we can do.
Yeah, the appliance online now just in VMG run mode. Got their main trimmed in the middle of the boat. So assume he thinks he's just about laying the mark and won't have to jibe again, but might have to. So he's erring on the low side. And the breeze just rotated back a little bit now and lightened, so a little bit more difficult to get there. So lines online in full VMG mode. Noakes sailing.
Noakes youth. Sean would love you calling him the youth, mate.
No, he admits not to being a youth anymore. Also in pretty much VMG mode. So these guys close to being on the starboard tack lay line.
Just trying to pick up the bottom mark, Bucko, in all the sparkle on the harbour.
Oh, I think I've got it. It's right on the tip of the point there.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Bottom of yeah.
Yeah.
I've got you.
So looking at that, appliances appears to be laying from where they are. And the breeze probably will head a fraction as they get there, so that's probably going to be it. And Noakes will be slightly overstood, but...
Great shot there on camera of the four leading pack, and we've got Dalzotto right up our tuck, but holding them off nicely with the harbour bridge in the background.
Subject to further and better particulars, I'd say.
So out of these three, Bucko, what's your thought at the bottom mark?
Well, have a look. Appliances now full VMG. Brett Van Munster sitting in the boat, so only two guys on the wire. But I suspect... I suspect Smeg will get there without jibing, you know that? From the localised header there, as we get near the white light here. I don't think they're going to lay at the moment, but I suspect they actually will. So look at that. Yep, appliance is definitely going to lay without jibing, and so probably therefore Smeg might get there second. No, yes, no, not enough header.
Yes, no, yes, no.
Amazing. But look at appliances, they're not laying now, so this is close. No, Smeg coming around their bow, look at that. And winning group now trying to press up to the mark. No longer in VMG mode, in tight mode. Smeg still soaking, but three strings. Smeg will get there.
Smeg got it comfortable.
How'd I go?
I turned you off after about 10 seconds, Bucko. I knew it was going to be a tough call.
Never in doubt, was it, son? Wow, look at that. That's a good header, isn't it? Good 30.
Great header.
Good 25, 30. So, Sean to be scratching his head about that. Just went a bit far at the jibe mark. Appliances, comfortable drop. They'll be tacking pretty promptly if they're set. The Smeg left it a bit late. I don't know what's going on there.
Seems to be, well, you know, like Pete and Ricky in the boat, new combination, but yeah, you know, you've got Mika in there as well. Different skipper this year for Smeg.
In the end, pretty comfortable actually. But,
yeah.
And Yandu easily third,
when you got the big paws of Pete Mackey to pack the spinnaker, makes it look like a Manly Junior spinnaker getting packed away.
Yeah, him and Trent Barnabas, the biggest hands in the universe. Okay.
Sean probably done the right thing out of the four of them there, tacked as soon as possible.
Free of choice, really, mate. But yes. Freddie Van Munster, the early jibe, scraped the jibe mark and came out in front. Pretty good.
Who's just behind you, Bucko. Look who's come back in behind the Dalzotto is the Finport.
And the Birkenhead Point Marina.
And the Birkenhead Point Marina. And is that who's on Ilve? It's Pedro, is it?
Pedro, yeah. Pedro's steering the Ilve today.
There you go.
Oh, this is his sort of stuff, not too windy. On average. 12-footer race on today as well on the harbour. So the old-fashioned breeding ground for skiff crews. So breeze pretty far left. The bow's nearly up at the windward mark here.
Birkenhead Point Marina got hit by quite a big header going to that bottom mark, Bucko. 100 metres off the mark, 50 metres.
He'd be wishing he had that one again, wouldn't he, a bit? Hard to judge though, James, isn't it? You don't want to be driving back on the port down here, so your lay is the calculation's quite difficult.
Yeah, you got to sort of throw caution to the wind occasionally with it, don't you?
Well, yeah, you can't be high, and it's best to be 50 yards low if you wanted to select one aiming point. Try and get 50 yards wiggle room in the bank. But looking upwind. Ooh.
It's got the Birkenhead Point Marina just about to come around the mark now.
Looks like the left does pay here. The old story, go to the white light and tack, James. How are we going? Birkenhead Point, there's our advice.
Might even see if we can get the drone to go up. Just hover over the leading pack and we might stay here if you like, Chits, and pick up some of these back markers.
The leaders are nearly out of drone range, mate.
No, not at all. Look at that for through the fleet.
Cruising boat.
There's some of the leaders going up. Rag, yeah, winning. Just going past the Finport.
Wow.
Who's next on the list? It's the Smeg. Appliances on line. Look like they've stopped there. And just back down to the bottom mark if we've got the camera here, Chits, and we've just got the Vintech going around.
So to the extent we've got a peloton, here it is.
Kurt Mitchell, Sam Monkhouse and Dave Mitchell.
6 boats within 10 boat lengths.
Simon Nern on the Marine. John Walton and Geronimo Harrison. Royal Oak.
I've got a knot in the halyard.
You've only had how long to sort that one out?
Oh, they're using the retrievers. The retrievers get stuck as much as anything these days.
Yeah,
mate.
just it's the O-boy in them. There's the Asco. And this is what you're talking about in the background, Bucko, with the Rag and Famish and the winning group. Just two little tight ones.
Couldn't be any more awkward, could it?
Nah, coming in square to the bottom. Then you have a look just to the right of screen there and you got Noakes Blue just trying to get over. Just a yacht out for a Sunday sail, coming in hot to join the party.
Breeze a long way in the left. Oh well. So the leaders have gone about 3 minutes. So winning group's chucked away a minute and a half, more or less there.
Well, it was the haves and the have-nots at that coming down past Point Piper, right, Bucko, with breeze or no breeze.
I think that's true. But,
so we'll just watch Snakes Blue go around and we'll head on up the course. Just back on our leaders with the drone, so we'll get back to that. Just noting over near Garden Island, Bucko, is the kitchen maker. They just knocked their spinnaker off, so they've obviously had the header the whole way across. Some amazing shots coming out of our drone on a beautiful day.
yeah, the fleet has just spent a small amount of time on starboard. The whole fleet just pressing on port tack towards the southeastern shore.
Yeah, well, you couldn't tack off it, could you, Bucko? See,
no.
Just on the Birkenhead Point there as we're going past on the camera cat. I used to, when I was teaching some kids and that at Bucko how to figure out which tacks you better tack. It's which one the bow of your boat, the front of your boat, is closer to the mark. It was keep it simple.
That's a new idea.
Young Maxie here in the middle, just coming along for the ride. It's working on his suntan. There's Del Zotto on screen. Go on, Captain Jack. We've got faith in your son.
I think you've burdened him, mate.
Well, you know, have been known to do that once or twice last year, Bucko.
Yes. Anyway, good fight here amongst the top.
Hey.
Oh man, see
Wow,
one.
stuck out in the heads. Gin Palace floating down the harbour just gave us some nice waves. Back up on the leaders, just going, what have we got, the J70s here we're just crossing paths with.
J70 championship of some kind. Not a big fleet, but
they're massive over in San Fran, Bucko.
yeah, no.
Like ginormous fleet. I'm sure Mr. already in amongst it. He's a big fan of the J70s. Yep. So our leader on course is Noakes this stage, and we've got appliances online, Smeg and Yandu. You could throw a blanket over him, Bucko.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Smeg's thinking. Got dirty air from a couple of sources and some inhibitions and a big header. I think you'd have to think that they might think about attack, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I think they know what's over on the left isn't really good for them, so they've...
Here they go.
Less of two evils, but I don't think they'll go too far though, Bucko.
No. And they're in a good line of breeze, so it wasn't the best tack in the world, but at least they're in pressure and I'll get 3 strings and get rolling here, so. The other guys standing hard right, which is interesting.
Yep, just got Yandu on the left of screen there. And the appliances online, and just in the distance there, you got Noakes probably, what, 20-30 seconds in front at the moment there, Bucko?
Yeah, so we didn't quite see what happened there, but Noakes has stepped over appliances and Yandu. And
who tacked out first down the bottom, Bucko? Noakes.
Noakes did. Yeah, cool.
So just got appliances online, but they're umming and ahhing for
He
attack.
was thinking about attack. Hard for him to attack at the moment. Not enough wind, really. So.
No, that's the hard part, isn't it? Like, the biggest problem with these skiffs, Bucko, is you tack in no breeze, they just stop completely.
It was never a problem for me, James.
Oh, Bucko.
Oh, just testing. Testing. Of course it was a problem. It was always a problem. Oh, look, bad waves on the appliances. They got through that. I think they might have done the right thing here. A little bit more wind filtering off the shore here. As long as they don't go too far and get too greedy. Doesn't look like much wind in the middle of the river.
What I'll do is I'll just sort of come around the front here of appliance online and sort of have a look back in the vision.
There they go. There they go.
The Noakes group in the background.
Good bit of right hand air coming. And pressure with right hand, so
that's the Noakes there, just in behind appliance online. And Yandu just in behind their main saw, just in front of their forestay now. So they're definitely a battle of different proportions up here, Bucko, with as what we seen up the first time we came up here, different breeze on the left, different breeze on the right. Yep. Who's got it right, who's got it wrong?
Well, we just see this. I mean, appliances, they're in plenty of wind, but not great angle. Noakes sailing around their bow at the moment, so that's not unknown, of course.
Yeah, well, looking at Yandu and Noakes, they're both bow up. Like, You know, Appliance Online just haven't got that yet, and you got that cold air coming back on the camera cat as we speak, Bucko. So, you know, every time that cold air's come, it's tend to come from the bit further from the right. So
yeah, no. So Appliance has just got a little bit of light here for a minute, but then they've got good wind coming out of the yacht club on the right up the beach at Piper. But they're hurting at the moment, that's for sure.
and just noted the Noakes group's gone bow down up further. We're just on Noakes there now. Yandu ran into a big header up there and has gone in flop.
Yep, so that was a bit untidy. No joy there for the Appliance Online. So off these guys here.
It's amazing how quickly, Bucko, that you can drop off that group. Like, remember, not 5 minutes ago, they were all a blanket over them.
Yandu and Appliance Online on the shorter mark than Smeg and Noakes group. Smeg had a little adventure in the middle of the harbour. They're in touch certainly, but Yandu probably going to lead on the water after the unwinding at the windward mark. Smeg in great shape there.
Just got Yandu and Noakes there on screen, both in good pressure. They all seem to be on good pressure.
Everybody's got wind again, including the guys on the right. Noakes in good shape. Travelling with Yandu on the screen.
And the Noakes to the left of screen there.
Noakes in the left corner, indeed. Breeze pretty even, a little bit in the right, perhaps. But plenty of it, so. And more right coming, looking upwind, a bunch of 12-footers just coming downwind towards the 18-footer fleet. Suggests that the breeze is a fair way right up against the point here. Noakes in nice vein up against the island, lifted on port.
Which mark are the Noakes boys got to go to, Bucko?
Noakes is on white. The furthest mark. Sorry, viewers. Whereas...
And the Woody on the Yandu, where's he off to?
He's on the one mark shorter.
Okay, so these two are going to be right on top of each other.
Yeah, they're going to be close. And the other boys got a bit of dirty air off the big commercial ferry, and they've been hurt by that. Both Smeg and Appliances have dropped a little there. Yandu.
Great drone shot there of the Yandu. What do you reckon, Bucko?
Yandu in good shape. No, looks good. Looks nice. And they're in the right spot on the race course, I think.
Noakes have just lifted the whole way up there, Bucko. They put probably, what, another 30 seconds on them.
Got that look.
Go up and try and find a happy spot to sit up around.
Yeah, go to the middle, mate. We'll be right.
Yeah.
Thinking.
That's us in the bottom of the screen with the Noakes just tacking in front of us.
He's got a bit of funny wind to navigate there. Header, big bit of wind with header. Wow, look at that.
It was a big knock, wasn't it?
Yep. So I don't know what they could have done, but good pressure out to the right. But it doesn't even look easy from the camera cat today, does it?
Finport has come back into this Bucko.
Yeah, no, they burgled
Had
hard
it.
on the right edge up the last part of the beat and got something.
They're got to obviously go around the white mark, I'm assuming, the fin port. Great little drone shot there on the Noakes.
The furthest mark suddenly gets a long way away, doesn't it, when the breeze goes all furry.
Yeah, well,
Breeze has gone back to the left even where we are, so...
I think what we might be able to do here, be able to see coming on the back of Noakes. And Noakes just on the ley line there, pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say comfortable. I'd take the comfortable part back today, Bucko, because it's swinging around up here. There you go, and they knock.
About as comfortable as a bed of nails, I'd say, mate.
Just put the mocker on him.
Yep. Breeze back in the right. They've got good wind, but it's bent back pretty hard. Look at that. It's pretty wriggly. Anyway, they've got a good lead.
Just going through a tack there.
Into a bit of a seaway.
Bit of breeze and a bit of a hole to get through.
And then a puff. Okay.
Noakes group around the mark first. Bit of a slow set there.
Yeah, not the best. So appliance online going to round the blue mark shortly to leeward. So appliance online will lead. Going around the middle mark now. Yandu also going to that mark. So Yandu got two more little tacks. Appliances probably on the water got a 20 second gap. Yandu will be third on the water. And then Smeg and Finport have to go to the most distant mark. Yandu round the mark now. Appliances pretty slow set.
Yandu third around, comfortable.
Yep.
Spinnaker, probably the best set out of the three we've seen so far, Bucko.
The young fellow in the bow of the Yandu.
The mighty Burger.
Michael. Oh dear. Mike Kennedy. 20 years in front of the mast and no ice cream, I think.
So they all come around, no breeze up here, and then the one that snuck around is Dalzotto around the red mark.
Yeah, the limit boat Dalzotto going to the shortest mark. But Noakes back in the lead. Noakes got some puff on the other edge.
Yeah, well, everyone came around. There's literally like the breeze has disappeared on us here.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? So 20 seconds just evaporated for these guys.
You literally sit there, don't you, Bucko, just like silently cursing, but trying to figure a way to get out of there.
Yeah, nothing we can do. But anyway, VMG run this time. We go and visit Dalzotto. They had taken plenty of time to set the spinnaker, James.
Yeah.
Any comment, brother?
There you go. What are you talking about? The spinnaker is now set. Had to build the pole.
Had to do a bit of pole sleeving as well as a bit of hoisting, did we?
Yes. What is it?
Oh, he just got
it's
a
at the top of the mast with a nice little twist.
Got a little twist, yeah.
Bit of chubby up top.
There we go.
And a couple of kayakers are about to get a real close look at a 18-footer. paddle faster, I hear banjos.
Yeah.
We've got the winning group and Marine Pitwater there in the back of the shot there from the camera cat behind the Dalzotto. As Dalzotto goes into jibe, you've got Yandu there in the background. Noakes and Appliances are squaring off out in the middle. So Noakes just in front of Appliances out there. That's first and second on the water, and then third is definitely John Winning on the Yandu.
Okay, so the two leaders have made the decision to go to the header on the far shore, and long shot delay from there, but they're both in bow down. Both in bow down, so it's hard to get through this little gap here and out to the new breeze. But looking at Yandu, they will lay from where they are, which is nearer to us. On the drone, we're travelling with Noakes and Appliance Online.
A nice little header there.
Yeah. You know, there's only a beat and a run to go, and you'd think that a race is now down to Appliances and Noakes.
You can't discard the mighty Yandu with John Winning on.
No, never discard them, but they've got about a, I don't know, 40-second deficit there.
We've seen that though, Bucko, today be put on, taken off a few baits that we've been following, like just by going a metre or two too far.
Pretty cool.
Just weave my way through a J70 class again. Not normally out on the harbour, take it up. Yandu, I reckon, is pretty comfortable on the lay.
Well,
may have one little jibe, or two little jibes, sorry to do.
yeah. A bit problematic for these guys. They need to jibe sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, they're going up into not a lot of air where they're going, right, Bucko?
Well, it's not just that. You need to get to the bottom on starboard. You can't go to the mark on port jibe down the bottom. So you've got to complete all your port jibe stuff earlier. And
that's because the breeze angle changes over this side, yeah?
Well, where they are now, they're getting lifted a little bit of bend around the headland, and then they go to the big header, and then it's too late. So you favour Yandu at the moment to some degree, but I don't know. I think even Yandu's a little bit too close up to the shoreline.
Well, he's got a rather large cruiser just about to
ambush him. That and the big green Manly ferry. So
well, the ferry's going behind him, but
yeah.
the big gin palace going up the
look
harbour.
at the seaway off the gin palace. My goodness.
Like, the guys will be knee knocking it over in a wire. They've seen the waves coming off the back of that thing.
Anyway, the two leaders here soaking ferociously. Okay. So for the viewers, we're just a bit dusty on our ordinary fixed camera, so we're drone only for a minute here for some technical reason. So the two leaders here praying for header, and look at that, James. Look over your shoulder, and for the viewers looking straight out the back of the camera cat, Yandu lifted up to in line with these two leaders. So a bit of misfortune or miscalculation perhaps for Yandu, and the leaders laying down to the mark more or less. But Bradley's header. So
Sean make it 2 from 2.
well, at the top mark, Appliances Online gets the benefit of one further unwinding of the handicaps. So worth about 90 seconds or something. So the gap's not that big, but we will see.
Well, the appliances get up. Lisa will be taking Brett up to Dubbo every week. They left at 5 o'clock this morning to be here, Bucko.
Yeah, Brett Van Munster and his wife went to a wedding yesterday up in Dubbo, which is a good 5-hour drive, James. Certainly 4.
Yeah.
He's had a big day before the race even started.
Brett's up to the task. Like, you know, you think back at during the JJ's, Bucko, when he's got to do work on the boats to all hours of the night, and then, you know, he never gets time to work on his boat during the JJ's. He's always working on everyone else's, keeping them back on the water. And then he backs up and...
Yeah, and it's a thick end of a 2-hour commute to his factory from here, so plenty of trailering going on up and down the throughway. All right, well, they're jibing into the bottom mark shortly, but the breeze less headed than previously.
Yeah, they've really left Yandu in the back there, haven't they? So definitely a race out of these two.
This is one of those ones where you wish you could have a tracker on each boat and after the race figure out what the right answer is, because
I don't think there is a right answer today. Like, look at the,
well, obviously there is one. It's just we don't know what it is, mate. Come on. Yeah.
It's opposite to everything that we'd be doing.
I didn't say that. I said it'll be coming into the mark on the starboard ley line, okay? Which is over the other side of the harbour. But these guys have done quite a good job, I think.
First time you've been right all day, Bucko.
Oh, well. Here we go. Noakes.
Jibe on the Noakes.
And Chits, what's going on?
And just here on the appliances still. And Noakes just in the right behind.
We're right behind appliances. Noakes got about not a big lead, 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
But these two have done completely opposite to what you were talking about, where the Finnport, Birkenhead, Point Marina and so forth, they're all jibing off Clark Island, Bucko, which is what you were talking about earlier on when we were doing the transition across the harbour.
Yeah, how about, Jimmy, and for the viewers, quite a long way away over near Clark Island, but a Birkenhead, Point Marina looking like they're going to lay the mark from there without jibing. Ah, dear. So these guys back into a little header on port, so the breeze actually gone back to the right permanently a little bit here. Probably 30 degrees back to the right compared to what it was at the bottom mark last time. That explains some of the difficulty.
So this is the same course we're on last week, Bucko, but the breeze is a lot different today to last week.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging around and like for those at home.
Very different.
You know, it's very hard for these guys. Like, you know, you get taught to look at other boats that are sailing around to see what the breeze is doing where you got to go, but you know, that could change by the time you get there.
The Noakes nearly in the tide on the jibe drop. Oh dear. Oh, Eddie Van Munster's pretty bloody towy, but good.
Brett doesn't like adding any extra distance, does he?
He doesn't give much away. It's gone. So there you look at it, troops. Not a boat length between them hardly. So the yacht race is on. Jimmy, which way do we go up the last beat, mate? I'm a bit puzzled.
Well, remember they came out, Bucko, and it was a little bit more around to the left. So they tacked straight away and just headed for the other side of the harbour. The breeze has now gone more round to the right. Different ball game.
Permanent or temporary? That's the question.
Yeah, you have a look at the likes of Birkenhead, Point, Marina, Finnport, Yandu coming down, and then you look up way over to your left at the Zoo, Bucko, the Rag and Noakes Blue, the angle difference and where the breeze is coming from. Like, yeah, it's a tough one to figure out where you'd want to be, but you know, the guys like Birkenhead, Point Marina and Finnport, where they've sort of done a little zigzag down Point Piper to Clark Island, seems to have paid dividends.
Yeah, the approach into the bottom mark from the starboard lay line marginally better than the other, I think, only marginally. And but Smeg's is in the hunt. So this is the peloton very much here. There's 6 boats: Smeg, Asco, Yandu, Dalzotto, Finport, and Armarine. Sorry, Birkenhead Point. I'm always confused. Thank you, Chits. And the hand.
Yeah, Yandu was a big loser out of that
Yandu's lost about 1 million miles, and Finport on scratch. So he's going to the most distant upwind mark. Birkenhead Point and Dalzotto both got the benefit of a shorter mark on this beat. So there's just a beat and then a short run back to the finish line near where the jibe mark was. So a bit of knife fighting to do here, but these boats all in touching distance of each other. And I guess...
Bit of Nick Daly coming back, I can hear him.
Yeah, yep. Oh, the wind, there's wind. All of a sudden there's wind. Yandu's done all right, but Birkenhead Point can't get the shoot down.
Bit of karate at the bottom mark. Harry Bethwaite doing all right on the Asco steering, Bucko?
Yeah, no, he's gone well. And you'd think that if you could tack, you would. So there we go, the Asco.
Harry's got the earpiece into you today, Bucko.
Oh, they got going well there. You'd favour them out of that. But they do have the long mark.
Makes it up in it. Oi, Harry. Get across, just picking up the Noakes Blue and the Ilby coming down. So. Bad Heritage. We've got Pedro on the Ilby. A lot of vang off there, Bucko on the Ilby.
Yeah.
We'll get up to this little yacht race in front of us. So the Noakes and the appliances online. The one Finport surely have got to go to the furthest mark, as do Asco, don't they, Bucko?
Yeah, so of this lot, yeah, Asco and Finport and Noakes to the furthest mark. And appliances get the benefit of the shorter mark.
Coming up to meet the 2 leaders here. Left of screen is Noakes, right of screen appliances online. We've just got a whale watching boat coming back in. Thank you, whale watching boat, for going around and not joining the party. Quite good on this boat, Bucko. I think a lot of people know that we're always doing things with a camera, so we get a little bit of courtesy. We've just got Noakes and appliances online here on screen. You'd have to say this is the race for first and second, 100%. I don't think the other guys really can come and join this.
No, the gap's too big, almost for anything. Interesting here, appliance online looks slightly better in this downrange stuff. Noakes just a little bit too flat overall, I think, for this wind speed.
But that'd still be the old David Witt, rather large mainsail on that, wouldn't it?
Oh, they've done plenty. It's nowhere near the same as it was. But just see them come around their bow a bit there, and appliance is able to get 3 strings full riding moment in use a bit earlier than Noakes.
Sean didn't like the look of seeing him come around the forestay, so...
And didn't like the look of the big power cat either, I don't think.
Bugged out.
Yeah. So Appliances probably should go to the next puff and tack, but he's stopped there a bit.
Just in the quarter waves of that catamaran, you think, Bucko?
Oh, he just looked like he was jammed up inside the jib without all the weight on the end of the wing. But, here he goes. He's going again now.
It's got the drone there on Noakes sailing.
Let's have a look at the setup on the Appliances, James. He's in good pressure. Hard to see how they're not going to be okay out of that.
They really have let Noakes sailing go there, though, Bucko.
Yeah.
So, yeah, brave move on your last work. To
No.
go away from someone, surely.
No, you don't want to do 2 extra tacks. He's saying I'm do less tacks, you know.
Might be less tax, but 101 is sailing up the last beat.
Yes and no. These boats, mate, like the lead he's got, 2 tacks would have chewed it all up, you know. But he's standing into a good line of wind. Have a look at this guy. Keelboat heel on. Come on, men.
Count the keel, Kurt.
No, run it out. Just needed about calling the bowman out.
Still got a bit of main to squeeze on there, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you think just maybe a little lack of communication there between the...
I think I was going to say something about that.
Lack of comms?
Lack of comms. Oh, that's not pretty.
Bit of dust on from the opening of season party last night, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a big week, hasn't it? Opening season party for the 18s.
Noakes is tacked on the other side. They're right off Bradley's, so...
I think he can conclude that Appliance Online leads here.
Yeah.
Well, James, I mean, you know, the breeze, a little bit rotation back to the right. Not huge, but a bit, I think. Anyway, they'll go to cover now, I would suspect. I mean, Sean sort of had no choice there, in a sense, did he? He had to tack.
Yeah, well, he had Brett coming up around his bow, so...
Brett looks like he's standing after he gets across a powerboat wash here. Looks like they're standing into a good line, so they will consolidate that lead pretty comfortably. And they look quite fast, don't they? When they're sheeted in along the end of the wing, they look quite sort of powered up and zipping through the water. And the rig looks quite good. I'm not sure they've got the gust response that might be necessary, but they've certainly got the low range grunt.
Yeah, they are lined up on screen, Bucko.
Yeah, Sean might have to tack back. Appliance Online might have to tack back here.
Well,
Breeze in the left now, so they should tack. Yep. He should go back though.
Noakes crossing him quite comfortably there, Bucko.
Well, there you go. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Looking at that, I think Noakes has actually opened the gap a little bit.
Yeah, 2 boat lengths. Not a huge amount.
Just looking at the crew height on both boats there, Bucko, the Noakes have got low hooks.
Well,
Appliance is a little bit higher up on their wire. Oh, I'll tell you what, the bowman's just fallen off Noakes.
He fell back on again. Should be right. Oh, he hasn't. Lifted himself off the hook.
Just wanted to call off. He's climbed back on.
Well, I guess, Jones, here's the thing.
There's a point of too low on the hooks.
These guys are heavier, but with bigger sail area than the Noakes. Brett doesn't seem to mind a little bit of angle of heel.
Just one knot too low.
Well, you never know. Brett's in a big right hand here. He has to tack. He's getting up near the island.
He's sort of at that I can't tack point, isn't he?
Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes. Surely. Middle of a river.
And Finport's doing really well to sail back up to these two, Bucko. They just haven't, like, they're just going to run out of runway with that furthest mark again, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, well, they haven't given up, but quite a good race from them.
Here they go. So they've just done the complete reverse of either side of the harbour here, Bucko. So there's appliances, and probably just in the top of your screen to your left, and where those two little white buildings are on the shore, just coming around the front of appliances. That's the Noakes all the way over there. So Brett's having a very good look at the Noakes from his point of view at the moment.
Oh, not happy, chubbies. Brett needs it to turn left about 20 degrees, which it may do, which it's been known to do here. So let's see.
And there they are on the screen, top of the screen, Noakes.
I think he might have to tack back. Noakes is sailing around their bow at the moment. Not very windy though. He's got to go to the next puff probably, hasn't he?
See what the next puff gives him, like hopefully that 20 degree that you're talking about, Bucko.
Well, anything like what Noakes has got down on the leeward edge, it is 20 degrees. Here we go. About to find out. Go on, men. 4. And 3 to 1. 3 to 1. Here we go.
Noakes is tacked over just to the left of screen at the moment. There's Noakes, they're just tacked over onto starboard. Yeah, I'd like to sort of think, Bucko, like if they had stayed with him, could have, you know, should have, would have, could have, right? Look, if appliances online don't get a lift here, Bucko, they might have a bit of trouble coming from the Finport. Just
Yeah, the right edge is paid, isn't it?
yeah.
So that's what you'd expect though, with the breeze going back to the right in a semi-permanent sort of sense. So
There you go. Who would have thought?
yeah.
There's a good shot of Noakes. They're at least a minute ahead of appliances at the moment, you'd think, Bucko?
Yeah, it's every bit of a minute.
Appliances, you've got Finport coming in hot from the right. Might be 2 from 2 for Noakes, Bucko. Maybe.
Hard to believe, but looking likely.
Here you go, we've got the cross coming up.
Finport's across east.
Finport charging along. Get Keegan off the boat, put Harry Price on there, and nah, only jokes, Keegs.
No, they've done well. They've gone the right way up this beat, that's for sure. Big powerboat on the bow here.
Ghost.
The Ghost, my goodness. It's a Ghost, but it makes real waves and makes a hole in the real wind. So, appliances has to tack.
So you're saying Noakes, Bucko, go around the blue or the red?
No. He's going to the most distant mark.
Oh, Noakes is. He's going to the furthest. So
Yeah. So appliances gets the benefit of the unwind here. Finport and Noakes both going to the most distant mark.
Okay.
So, but Noakes leads by enough to still lead on the water, even after the unwind at the moment.
There's the distance between first and second. And what we might do, we might leave the drone here to follow them up. We'll go up and hang out with Noakes and have a look at them from that point of view. What do you reckon, Bucko?
Yeah, no, all good, all good.
Try and follow the Noakes around the mark and that hoot you just heard was the Ghost letting a pleasure boat that was just returning directly to its mooring, not keeping a lookout, to sort of say, hey, I'm here. There's an Oaks on screen, just tacking. Probably 150 metres to that top mark. One more tack. I think it will be close, but the guys on Noakes have a nice clean set here, Bucko. I think it's done, isn't it?
Yeah, they should be able to win from here.
Almost enough distance. You can have a look at that spinnaker and see if Sean listened to your comments last week, Bucko. Just on the drone shot there, just the appliances online. Just coming up to the first mark, it's still got a little bit of ways to go. And just at the top left of the screen there, that's an Oaks group just tacking for the final time to go around this furthest top mark.
Yeah, he just needs a clean set here.
Clean set.
Good pressure. Good set. Oh, and the appliance is nearly in the tide on the tack. That's how hard right the breeze has gone.
Yeah, it was that and the waves off the new ferry comes out of Rose Bay.
So it's still a yacht race about, and appliance is overstood on the mark. That's how far around the wind is. So that's about 30 seconds. Not unknown that get lost in the way to the finish line, but appliance is now around the mark.
There on the drone, appliance is going, yep. Not too bad of a set, bit of a load up there, should be okay.
But maybe here, Jones, if you have a look now, they're in a header. The Noakes group is in a lifted air and less air.
Yep.
Appliance is in more pressure with header. They might have gone back.
Got the boat race back on, Bucko.
2/3 of the gap, or 100% of the gap. Wow. Certainly a lot closer. So, on the water, Noakes, appliances, Finport, Smeg, Yandu, Dalzotto, Birkenhead. Oh. Here we go. The cross, you can see clearly on screen. Margin down to about
Appliance online just jibing there.
800 metres.
Noakes blue just getting out of the way of Noakes sailing.
Trying to. Mainsail inverted. Appliance in a good puff. Noakes in a lull.
Insert the dramatic music here, Bucko.
Yeah.
It's all about staying calm, isn't it? Like this situation as much as you can.
Yeah.
It's easy from our vantage point to stay calm. There you go, Sean's on
Close to the ley line.
on that bit of puff that they're in. Appliance is responding.
Rightly or wrongly.
Jibed.
Chose to jibe. I'm not sure that's the right answer because I'll end up getting wound up a little bit here around the point.
Yeah, which we've seen all day, right?
But might be enough wind, but I think that Noakes will win this. Close enough to the ley line. And Noakes sailing a little bit hotter than they normally would just to cover a bit.
You just got to cover them off, don't you, Bucko?
A little bit, yep.
It's not Sean's first rodeo, so...
No, that's right. Just make sure the bowman stays aboard, we'll be right. Oh well, if this result comes to be, Noakes Group will be the sole boat on scratch next week. So that'll be very pleasing for Sean and his guys.
Sean's just enjoying his sailing, Bucko. It's good to see.
Yeah, he's got the average age low enough in the boat.
Age is just a number, mate.
Yeah, wow, the appliance is nearly in the tide.
We jibed right on the powerboat wash, didn't they?
With puff and a bit fancy, a bit too much roll.
Spectator boat.
So
Sean will be jibing around.
just going to jibe. Yep. Leave the spectator boat out of the way.
He'll be going, what a beautiful, how good of a spot have I got on the harbour?
That's right. Great jibe from these boys. Much
Just
better.
Make sure that they're not low.
They are low now. Look at that. My goodness.
Because of the Merlot.
Uh-oh.
So Sean will have to knock this spinnaker off. This breeze keeps coming, Bucko.
He'll be right, I think. Maybe. God almighty, eh?
Ringing the neck of that spinnaker.
Oh,
So you can see the spectator boats just in the back of screen there. They've got to get up over them, and the furthest one right on the corner of the island there. That's
there's a little lull coming. They'll get soaked.
they'll get there.
Just. Amazing, isn't it? Lead back out to what it was at the top. Just by staying in the puff.
Stay on the boat.
Yeah, that's our other advice, indeed. So Noakes Group wins.
Well done, Noakes. 2 from 2.
2 from 2. Shawnee Langman, Ed Powys, Nathan Edwards, well done. Good bit of yachting.
Great bit of yachting.
And as mentioned, they will now be the sole boat on scratch next week. So giving everybody a start. And fairly emphatically, you know, they've put...
Just got the appliance online coming in here for second on the drone. Bucko?
They put
top of the main still yet to flop out.
A few minutes on a winning route. Finport's sailed very well with...
Haven't they?
With
Harry Price steering.
Harry Price steering. That's a good effort.
Keegan can just turn into the sponsor and sponsor only now.
Appliances get second, so they did have a chance to win that race probably, but couldn't get the last beat done too well. But they'll still be reasonably happy with that result, I think.
Finport come home for a third. Well done. We'll just get up and go chase for fourth and fifth. Just get up and chase 4th and 5th with Yandu and Del Zotto coming down to the finish. I think Del Zotto at the moment, Bucko.
Yeah, I think he's got a good enough margin, hasn't he? He's about, oh no, wow. Yeah, he should be able to get there from there. Just needs one good job. There he goes.
Del Zotto not having a too crash shot of a jibe, but
not their best job, and they're too early.
Well, Captain Jack, you know, makes the ugly look easy.
No, he's made life hard for himself there. Yandu on starboard.
All right, we need to get down in there.
No, he's going to be okay, but he opened the door a bit, but Yandu's not quite close enough. Yandu might like their chances with a little look at the other end, but Woody Del Zotto will jibe simultaneously. Woody is definitely having a look. He's too early yet. Del Zotto jibing in a pretty good spot actually. So
Mick Daly trying to dictate terms to the Woody.
Not much that can be done here. Del Zotto only just across him though, and Del Zotto a little early. How about that? Captain Jack impatient. Could be expensive.
He's soaking down.
No, he won't get there. He's got to
get there, though. No, he won't.
He's got to job again. If Woody's close. Oh, wow. Lots of money resting on this. Del Zotto just.
Well, they're not across the line yet, are
Yes,
they?
they are. Yes, they are. By half a pole. A short half head in horse racing terms. All good. Okay, well done those guys. Yandu contended for a fair bit of the race, but lost their way on the run. Got too near up to Bradley's Head, and Del Zotto and a couple of the other guys, Birkenhead, Point Moreno, came back to them, and also Finport came back on the run substantially. So. So it looks like Birkenhead Point Marinas will be next.
Be close between them and the Royal Oak. Okay.
No, the Birkenhead's nearer, and they're both on a lay, so they'll be right, and in good pressure too. So, yep. Yeah, no, they've been. Smeg's had a torn chute for a lap and a half. So Birkenhead going to get there next, just from Royal Oak. Just.
And Royal Oak, nice job.
Nice job. Smeg
will probably be next.
Spinnaker about to separate itself into two pieces if they're not careful. Smeg gets there.
And then Noakes Blue. And then Heritage.
Noakes Blue.
Well sailed.
And after that, Asco and Winning Group prominently not anywhere near the peloton. There might be a steward's inquiry into the performance of the Winning Group. Not sure what happened there. And we saw Asco commit some sins on the start line and have to do some penalty turns. So they were never probably going to make a comeback from that.
Well, the Asco, no, it was Asco got away. All right, it was Kitchenmaker that was doing penalty turns.
Oh, sorry, Kitchenmaker indeed. So
that was last week. The Asco jumped the start.
Steward's inquiry. Okay, somebody fell off. All right.
Last week.
Okay, all right. We stand corrected. I hope we haven't confused you too much today. We were confused. Tough day for the yachtsman. Tricky little easterly wind. On behalf of everybody aboard the Camera Cat, AeroMedia, John O'Witty, Anthony, Max, Jimmy. Michael Chittenden. Thanks for coming today. Same time next week. Camera Cat over and out.
Shot there of the Asco. Look at that.